Okay, guys, sorry about that. My internet dropped and I don't know why, so hopefully it doesn't do that again. Alright, so core. Team Deathmatch. Alright. Get back into it and then I will. Oh crap, we've got two of them on the enemy team. The Blackjack. Dude, call him Blackjack and then make him green. Yes. Nailed it. To me, it makes total sense, you know? It's funny, though.
Team Deathmatch.
Okay, guys, so just the point that I was trying to make before I was so rudely interrupted by my internet dropping is that YouTubers out there will make a lot of videos telling you all the stats about all these weapons and, like, you know, their own personal, you know, subjective opinion and blah 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 blah, trying to give you, like, the best impression of how the gun works. But, like, the one thing that they won't show you is, like, what it feels to be shot, or what it feels like to be shot, like, by that gun. You know what I mean? And I think that that's, like, an important missing piece of information in a lot of cases. Because the types of guns that I end up particularly liking, it's like, some of these guns have, like, a half-decent knockback effect to them. Like, where if you're getting shot by them, your aim is getting knocked all over the place. And it's kind of like, depending on how that's happening, that can definitely affect, you know, your ability to get a kill, your ability to sort of, you know what I mean? Like, you're sort of screwing with people using other effects in the game that people don't really talk about too much. Alright, I gotta start concentrate on the game, Andrew. Get your head in the game. Stop talking about random stuff. That was my fault. I shouldn't have gone down his hallway. He was covering it just fine without me. I should have gone somewhere else and looked somewhere else for a kill. Try to help out here.
Friendly UAV inbound.
Neutralized.
There we go. If you're seeing those new blue flashes as well, wonder what that's all about. Those are the two new guns that they added to the game. There is a shotgun, which this guy seems to be using, called the Banshee, and then there is the kind of like a weird burst revolver. Fires two shots and seems pretty powerful. But they kind of do that, like, interesting blue energy weapon kind of effect and set your character on fire. Man. You still want to have, like, a somewhat close engagement distance with this gun, but
Blackjack down.
Hardened sentry deployed.
really?
The world is watching. Show them the win.
We'll go hunt around, see if we can get a kill before the game ends. Probably not, but you know. Come on. There we go.
Enemy destroyed.
Black Ops at work. It's a
Nice
beautiful
job,
thing.
team.
All victory conditions met.
I am become death, the destroyer of scrubs.
The reason I bring up the stuff about the stats and the knockback is like it's easy to look at a gun just based on the number stats alone and say something like, oh, this gun is it kills faster at this range because it fires 3 bullets at this in this time period, and those 3 bullets are going to do this much damage, and your character only has this much health, so therefore it's going to take this long to kill your character, and that's faster than any other gun in the game. And you can do that, but it's like, if that gun at the same time, while you're trying to shoot me with it, I'm shooting you with something that makes it harder for you to shoot me with that gun, and I kill you, is that gun still technically the best one in the game? That's the question that I have. You know what I mean? There we go. You can put the ELO on it, which I'm not going to bother. Like, there's also a large community that thinks that the ELO is the best sight on the gun. I guess it is for certain reasons, but the reasons that they give aren't really all that specifically useful to me. They say like, oh, if you lose your, because when you get hit by, I think it's power core, it like takes away the reticles on your guns because it's like a giant EMP kind of deal. So if you have like the red dot sight, you're looking through the window and there's no dot in the middle of it, so you're kind of just having to shoot wherever. And if you have the ELO sight, it kind of has 2 towers on either side that sort of end roughly at that point, so you can kind of use the towers as an aiming point, which is fine. Like it's a good enough reason to use it, but at the same time, it's like
Deathmatch.
when you're
Time to
using
salvage up some new stock.
a red dot or an ELO or something that has like just a single red dot in the middle,
Green light.
right? Like normally this site doesn't have that little ghost outline and triangle bump thingy at the bottom there, whatever that is. No idea what that is. The reason I use those, the reason I put like this is because this is the red dot, I can choose the sight reticle pattern that I want. The reason I use those is because it allows me to set up headshot heights more effectively and like more quickly. If I'm like camping a door or something, I gotta pay more attention and stop talking, but you know. That is the danger of playing and streaming at the same time. And plus I like to talk, so it's a danger whenever I'm around anyways. Oh, yep. Okay. But it's like, if I just have a red dot, right, and I'm like looking, even at a doorway like this, kind of tough to be like, okay, where is head height, right? But if this guy goes through the door, like I could use him as a height reference, and then I could be like, okay, so if anybody comes through this door, this is roughly head height, you know? But it just helps to have that big oval around it, where I can be like, yeah, anywhere all the way through that door that I'm looking through in the distance into the staircase, like that's head height, you know what I mean, roughly. So it just like it allows you to roughly estimate against a door frame, you know what I mean, like that's where a head might be. And so instead of looking with just that one little, see, you know what I mean, you can also tell like against an enemy's body, like am I too low? You know what I mean? Or am I too high? Or do I need to adjust? Oh, come on. Really?
Threat neutralized.
I think that costume that guy was wearing, it's for the, is it the Spectre? Might be the Spectre. It's kind of like, he looks like a Ninja Turtle. That's what in my brain, that's what I'm calling that one. I'm like, there goes a Ninja Turtle. Herpity derp. Kind of looks like Raphael, you know what I mean? He's got that little bit of red. Alright, well he's coming this way and he doesn't have a power up anymore. I hate that weapon. Really? That's freaking lame. Oh god, team, just to try to cover something. Yeah. People like that.
Care package inbound.
Where you're just like, what is he doing? Where is he going? And now they're dead. You know what I mean? Like, or at least somebody who went up that side is now dead. And yeah, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like,
Hellstorm inbound.
if you had stayed and just covered that avenue of attack, you know what I mean? It's better to like move and hold. Like, what? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like, this dude's not even playing. You know? Perfect. Okay, he got the Ninja Turtle.
Infantry terminated.
Woot. You know? And like that's the other thing, is like the team sees you get killed like that by somebody there and they don't even like try to help. They're just like, oh screw that, I'm not going that way, you know? And it's like, yeah, that's just great. Like what? You know?
Stealth specialist wasted.
Okay, I'm done with dudes who's rotating over there. Find another match. I should have reported him. Because it's probably just somebody trying to auto level. And that's not cool. Wow. Blackjacks are coming out today. Everybody seems to have finished their challenges. I guess we'll, like, let's do our blackjack tomorrow morning. I have him. I got him yesterday or the day. I can't remember. I've had him for a little while here, and I could have used him, but I wanted to figure out more about his character first. But I did that.
CDP, break their will to resist.
I just don't know if it's like, is the only thing Because what happens, okay, you get Blackjack, you unlock the weekly challenge, and it lets you, or the daily and the weekly, and it lets you unlock Blackjack for an hour. And then in that hour, you're given a challenge that's like, say, get 4 kills. I think it was get 4 kills with, score streak or specialist powers. That's what it was. Specialist weapons or specialist powers using Blackjack. So you have an hour to get those 4 kills in a match or something like that. So that, it could happen in that hour, or you could, like, luck of lucks, get the worst team ever, also known as every team ever in Call of Duty, and that may not happen for you. So then it becomes a thing of, like, you only get an hour to try for it. I don't know if I, like, save up this week's hour, if I'll get another hour next week, or if that's, like, another hour and another challenge. You know what I mean? Because the problem is that it's like, okay, you earn, so far we know that you earn calling cards from completing these Blackjack challenges. But what we don't know is if there's ever going to be anything else that you can earn, and if there's some, like, sweet, like, Blackjack gear or something like that, where it's like, oh, complete this week's supply challenge and get Blackjack's Santa Claus hat or something like that, because it's Christmas, oh my god, or whatever, 4th of July, special rocket launcher or something, people would lose their shit, of course, because, you know what I mean, it's like, people can't handle it whenever there's anything special in a video game, but
UAV inbound.
It's the kind of thing where it's like, if I save up all of my Blackjack stuff, will I get,
Threat neutralized.
more chances at food like that? Or more chances at other... Like, what if it's a calling card that I don't particularly want this week? If I wait, do I get a different one next week? Or if I wait, is it just going to be the same one again? You know what I mean? No matter when I do it. So those are the things I'm a little bit confused about right now, as far as how that's all working. But what can you do?
Hostile health store inbound.
Inform outrider.
Hostile
Oh, I'm just happy to be getting experience with this gun. I really don't mind how it handles. Although, like, the funny thing is that it's like, I'm gonna like this gun, but then we're gonna, like, pick up one of the other ones and it's just gonna work even better, and we're gonna just be like, oh my god. It's like... Whoa, what are you doing, bro? Oh, there's somebody behind me? Okay. Maybe you rescued me. Really?
care package inbound.
Dude, like, why is it like every match you go into, every match? You know what I mean?
Health storm inbound.
Well, I guess as long as they're getting their score streaks, it's fine, but it's like, what the... Oh, okay, this dude driving his servers, probably. That's not bad. It's just like, I hate going into matches and then respawning, and it's like you respawn and the dude's standing somewhere off to the side, and not even doing anything. Yeah, that's the worst, but these guys were alright.
Cerberus inbound.
I know he's there. I know he's also got explosives around him. Dang it.
Scrapped.
Need to stop aiming down the sights, you know what I mean? Need to just get in the habit of playing boots on the ground COD, really. That's like the funniest thing. Funniest thing is that, like, yes, there is wall running in this game, but no, it does not change the fact that boots on the ground is still the preferred way to play. You know what I mean?
Be advised, hostile care package overhead.
It's like you still need to walk in order to get your reticle to be tightened up. You know what I mean? It's not just like, oh, I'm a super spaceman flying all over the place, you know, wall running and jumping and doing backflips and, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, no, this is still boots on the ground COD for like 99.9%, except when you go to do something like that, you know what I mean? And then it becomes boots off the ground COD for like 0.5 seconds,
Care package inbound.
and then it's back to boots on the ground COD. Like, it's like, you know, people are freaking ridiculous, you know? Well, it changes the game too much. You know, I don't know if I can handle this new grappling hook and anti-gravity grenades and zero-gravity combat in this next Call of Duty game. Even though it's set in space and all of those things look like they make space combat more interesting and more easy. It's like, yeah, you don't want the grappling. This is the stuff that I listen to on YouTube videos. It's like a dude complaining about the grappling hook and being like, the grappling hook better not be in multiplayer. It's just gonna be too game breaking. And it's like, dude, zero gravity. Did you not watch the trailer? If you have zero gravity in space, do you not want something to help you get around faster? Yes, okay? You probably do. You probably don't want to be floating and, you know, swimming through space from point A to point B like you're doing, like, the, you know, the butterfly crawl every single time, when you could be like, zip, and you're already there. You know what I mean? And it's like, plus we're playing in space. Why wouldn't you want to have, like, gear and stuff that's specifically designed to help you in space, or designed around, like, the, you know, new game mechanics and stuff like that? Oh, I don't think we should have zero gravity combat in this space Call of Duty, because then it makes it too much unlike all these other Call of Duties where we had our boots on the ground. And it's like, dude, you've had like 10 other games. Like, how many other Call of Duty games already exist where your boots are on the ground, you're not in zero gravity, you're not in space, you don't have anti-gravity grenades? Like, the majority of Call of Duty games have always been like that and already been like that. So if you want to play those games, big, you know, big idea here, go play those games. You know what I mean? And the one space Call of Duty, leave it alone. Like, you know what I mean? What does it matter if there's one space Call of Duty that maybe you don't play because maybe you don't like it? That's fine. Next time it's going to be boots on the ground COD, and you can, you know, be like, oh, it's the best thing ever. That's great. That's great. You know what I mean? I don't care. But it's just like, you know, we come all this way. It would be like, you know, let's do Call of Duty, skiing, you know, let's do it on the Alps, and we're gonna be having combat, you know, skiing down the side of the mountain, and then dude comes out of left field and it's like, well, skis better not be in multiplayer. And it's like, what do you want us to do, run down the side of the mountain? You know what I mean? Because you don't want to adjust your skill set to include, oh, I can run on, I've already done running boots on the ground like 8-10 times already now. Now we can try adding one more, you know, layer of complexity to that. Oh no, that's too much for people. You know what I mean? And it's like, And so instead, you're gonna be like, let's take this game that has this other thing, and instead of doing that, let's just make it like those old school games, because I am, you know, too much of a, you know, like, that's the thing, is like, these people, they don't want to improve their skill set. They want to just sit there with the same, using the same skills, doing the same things, being coddled, you know what I mean? Where it's like, oh, you know, you're the best player ever because you already know how to do all the things, you know? We're never going to challenge you with anything new to do, because whenever we do that, you say, oh, this is terrible. And it's like, well, yeah, of course you would, because you're good at doing things the way they are, and you're terrible at doing new things. So you resist at any time that they bring new things. And like, I hate to say it, but that makes you a coward. You know what I mean? It's like all of these people that are like, oh, boots on the ground COD, man. Boots on the ground COD is the best COD, blah, blah, blah. They're cowards, in my opinion. You know what I mean? They're too afraid of innovation and having to adapt and learn new skill sets. And they just want to sit there playing the same game year after year after year, not learning how to do anything new. And it's like, you know, I have no patience or time for those people, you know? It's like, why are you playing video games, you know? And why should they make new video games that do the exact same thing that they've already done? You know what I mean? Like, many, many times already, you know? Just some really stupid people out there. And it's kind of like, you know, like, good for you. You know, that's what you want to do. You want to play the same game over and over and over again. That's what's going to make you happy. Good for you. I won't be participating. You know what I mean? That shit sounds stupid as all hell. You know? That's why I didn't like Call of Duty. That's why I thought Advanced Warfare was actually finally a direction that, like, did something new, you know what I mean, that we hadn't seen before. Oh my god, just the backlash to that game, the backlash to this game, it's all because these people are too scared to do it, you know what I mean? They're too scared to jump into a game that has things that they haven't done before, that they don't know if they can do if they go into a Call of Duty multiplayer. Because here's like the most ironic thing. You get these people who, like, they don't actually like playing COD. They don't.
Be advised, hostile UAV incoming. Hostile HCXD in your AO.
They don't like playing COD because when they remember either playing games as a kid or like playing shooter games at some point in their life, and they're like, oh man, I was the best at shooter games. And then they come and they play COD and they get their ass handed to them, and they're like, oh man, it must be because of all of this new, you know, wall running, jumping, yada yada yada. And it's like, no, it's not. It's because you haven't been playing the game and you're out of practice and you don't know what the hell you're talking about. You know what I mean? It's like, so it's like, then they see, like, they have that one bad experience with the Call of Duty game where they come in and they can't do well because they're, you know, they don't understand what they're doing wrong. They don't understand why the enemy is able to kill them quickly and all these kinds of things, right? And it's like, so then they blame the game, and then when they see the game come out next time and it's got wall running or boost jumping or yada 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 added on, it's like, to them, that's like, oh man, well I could never play the game now. I couldn't play Call of Duty before, and that's certainly can't play it if we're gonna be running on walls and jumping all over the place and whatnot. And so, like, that's what they say to themselves on the inside, and then on the outside, they say, boots on the ground COD is the best COD. You know what I mean? Because it's the COD that they can play. You know what I mean? But it's like, I don't think you can call yourself a fan of Call of Duty and not enjoy, you know, what they have done to the series, because they've added a lot of improvements. Like, before, if I was gonna come in here and, like, sneak in, there is no, like, maybe you could have jumped up to that, maybe. But you would have had to, like, come in here and come up these stairs. And, like, dudes would have just been like, you'd have one dude waiting here, watching these 2 points, you'd have one dude waiting here, watching this way, you know what I mean? And there would be no way where you could get in. And you know what I mean? The only way that you could do stuff is throw nades. You know what I mean? And it's like, okay, well, that's cool, but you know what? Throwing nades to get kills like that doesn't really take a lot of skill, you know what I mean, as a player. Like, you're just, you know, oh, I know he's here, oh, I'll throw a nade in that random direction, and maybe I'll, you know, oh, there it goes, you know? And it's like, so I don't know what people are talking about. People try to convince themselves of all kinds of crazy stuff. It's like, I had an argument with a couple guys the other day that were like, well, Call of Duty takes no skill. It's like, yeah, okay, keep smoking whatever you're smoking, Jack. It's like, I welcome you to come in anytime and show us how much no skill it takes to get, you know, top of the board in a Call of Duty match. You know, go right ahead. Show us how much no skill you have, you know? And then the idea that, like, they were actually arguing with me that games with a low time to kill, where you have to shoot an enemy, like, you know, 6 or more times to kill them, that actually takes more skill than a game like this where you can die in, like, 3 shots. You know what I mean? 2, 3 shots sometimes. Like 1 shot, depending on which gun you're talking about, right? And it's like, no, I'm sorry, you know, quicker time to kill game is harder by definition, you know what I mean? Aiming is not a difficult thing to do. Surviving is the difficult thing to do, you know?
Program terminated.
You can aim, like, you're aiming just looking around the map. That's not a like major skill set, you know what I mean? There are many more things that come into play.
You've seen my work. It speaks for itself.
Between you being somebody who can run around and aim at dudes and shoot them, and being somebody who can run around on a map full of dudes who are cutthroats, who are ready to jump on you and kill the crap out of you. You know, it's like, you die quick in this game, isn't it? You know, and plus, oh, you know, Call of Duty takes less skill, blah 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 blah. And it's like, yeah, it takes, and like, oh, Call of Duty doesn't innovate. That was another one that they threw in, and it's like, yeah, okay, so boost, you'll, out of one side of your mouth, you'll say that, you know, boost jumping and, you know, all this stuff, wall running is terrible, and, you know, the game needs to go back to the way it was, and then you'll say, in the same, like, out of the same side of your mouth, and in the same breath, you'll say, but Call of Duty never innovates. And it's like, what the hell, dude? What, they added boost jumping and wall running, and you're saying that they're not innovating? Like, now they're adding, like, space zero-G combat. It's like, yeah, they're innovating, okay? And that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to make the game interesting as a video game, not as some type of, like, war simulator. If you want a war simulator, there are other games out there that are better war simulators. You know what I mean? Go play Battlefield, go play Arma, go play, you know what I mean? This is like a deathmatch style FPS game. It really shouldn't be that hard to figure it out. I should have kept the silencer on the gun, but I'll switch it out next time. But it just blows my mind, the things that people will try to, like, they're saying it on YouTube or they're in the comments or whatever, but the reason they're saying it is because they're trying to convince themselves. You know what I mean? Because it's not like I give a shit. It's not like you give a shit. It's like they're just trying to be like, "Oh, yeah, this is the best way to do things," or "I have the best ideas. I know what I'm talking about." But it's like, you know what? And probably most of you don't. I would say, you know. Oh wow! Look at those textures. That's some good loading right there. Let's just wait for my PlayStation 4 to catch up with what's going on. Oh my god, what is going on? Hello game? Yes, textures. Those are good things. Good things, yes. So this is one of those cases where I feel like I've put the long barrel on this gun and taken off the silencer, and suddenly the gun feels not as good as it was, you know, before. Moments ago. So it's like, do I keep the long barrel and put the silencer on, just see how that works, or... It's not terrible, you know, I'll have to keep playing around with it, but... Dude, that was your enemy. You're the dude running around with the shotgun, okay? If they come up close, you're the one that's supposed to shoot them. Great.
They will die.
Okay, here's another, you know, Andrew's, you know, weird ranty morning will continue. Why not, right, while we're on the subject. But things that they don't tell you in this game as well about your gun, like in the, you know, all these videos comparing guns and stuff like that, is like the way the hipfire spread works. Like, you know, standing still doesn't move. If I lay down, it should get like minusculely tighter. Because you can see it gets, like, when I go down, it gets small, and when as I get up, watch it get bigger just slightly, right? Just like opens up just a little bit, right? The space in between the crosshairs, like the little indicators, the space in between that's defined by, you know, those markers, that is where your bullets can land, anywhere in that space. You know what I mean? So if I crouch versus standing, my bullet spray actually does tighten up, you know. And if I prone out, my where my bullets are going to fire is going to be much more accurate than if I'm like running around. See how far it is when I'm running around? Whereas if I stop moving, like, all of my bullets are going to fire, or at least my first bullet's going to fire in that range, and then it's, you know, the recoil changes depending on. So this is why I say that it's still, this game, like, despite the fact that you have wall running and yada yada yada, this game is still boots on the ground. The reason for that is because in order to maximize your chances of hitting targets, you do want to be on the ground. You do want to be, like, you know, walking for one instead of running. Although walking and running, it seems like it's the same. Interesting. But if you crouch, it makes you more accurate. You know what I mean? Makes you quiet too. You can sneak up on people. And those are like little, you know, tricks that somebody who has played a boots on the ground COD might know, that somebody who has only played this game might not necessarily realize. Because if you haven't played in all of the situations, like, I don't think most people in this game,
Be advised.
like, know
Hostile
that, like,
settlers
okay, if I
inbound.
crouch and go down, you know what I mean? And stand still here and try to aim off this corner, you know what I mean? I'm going to be more
UAV
accurate
above.
firing from the hip. You know what I mean? Than if I was just standing up here, moving around and stuff, looking over this, you know? So it's like, it's little tiny things like that, you know, that can make a huge difference, and those are the, like, that's the technique and skill that you have to learn playing the game. Let's see if it's, oh, no. I was gonna try to take out the Cerberus, but I waited too long on it. Okay, let's take out the UAV at the very least, if it's still up there. Oh, no, it's gone. Okay. I like having the engineer perks. I gotta say, like, I keep, like, messing around with my secondary weapon, and I'm like, oh, I'll just take a knife, and then I don't need to have the engineer perks and all that, but it's like, the engineer perks in this game, they make you invisible. Like, if you use all three of them, makes you invisible to ground and air-based score streaks. So you're not going to get killed by Raps, you're not going to get killed by Cerberus, you're not going to get killed by sentry turrets, and you know, any of those, of the, you know, the Wraith thing, airship that it falls in and all this stuff. It can't see you, so it can't shoot you. So you basically eliminate, like if you were playing rock, paper, scissors, you've eliminated scissors out of the possible options that you have to deal with. So just doing that alone isn't going to help, like, reduce the amount of deaths that you have. Plus the fact that it's like, you can see those guys, like, when an enemy HCXD or whatever it's called is put on the map and you hear that call out, you can actually see it and shoot it much more easily. Basically, you can defend yourself against, like, way more ways of dying, as well as the fact that if you have a rocket launcher in addition to all this, you can... Oh, there's an invisible dude. But if you have a rocket launcher in addition to it, it's kind of like, instead of just having the perk that makes you invisible to UAVs while you're running, you have a rocket launcher that makes the UAVs invisible by destroying them. And the reason that that's good is because, you know, now you don't have to deal with the UAV at all, and your team doesn't have to deal with it either, plus the fact that you still have this rocket launcher on you, and if you have the Black Cell, for instance, it's got 4 more or 3 more rockets in it after you fired that first one.
What I just saw. That's
And
a hard fail.
so then you have 3 more rockets to deal with, another score streak, another UAV, like any of that stuff. So it's like, and you're getting points for using it, rather than just having a skill point or a perk that's just there, and it doesn't earn you anything. It's kind of like, why bother using it then, you know? So I really do think that, like, my favorite class in the game is probably going to be built around an engineer class. I'm not sure which character, which specialist I think is going to be the best for that, but that's the real thing that I'm trying to figure out, is like, which specialist do I want to use and how do I want to use them. Because there's certain weapons that, like, would make more sense for an engineer class than, you know, for, like, a close range class. And I do like playing close range, so it's like I want, like, something that kind of makes the most sense. Like, I think that the Nomad is probably the best character to make an engineer, because you'll be able to cover more. Maybe I'll do that, but I just don't like how he looks. I don't like how, you know, he's like one of my least favorite specialists, this guy. He's just, whatever, you know. I kind of like Ruin. I like Outrider. Don't really like Prophet. Kind of like Battery. Maybe I can make Battery my engineer class. Seraph, not too much of a fan of. Reaper is okay. I just don't like the noise he makes while he runs around. And I don't think that I need a Spectre engineer. Maybe a Firebreak engineer, but that is left to be determined, because he may be my close range shotgun specialist. And then I'll just have a different class that's an engineer. I don't know. I don't know what to do. Oh well.
Team deathmatch.
Okay.
Topological data received. Calculating.
Oh yeah, I was supposed to like fix my okay, that's bothering me. You know, I don't like the fact that it's not loading in textures properly. I'm gonna just quit out. Maybe it's something to do with who's hosting there or something. I don't know. I'm hoping it's not my PlayStation. I hope that whatever the next PlayStation is, it runs a little bit cooler than this one, because it's hard to tell with the PlayStation 4 if it's running hot or not, because it's like, well, normally you can cook an egg on it, so you wouldn't be able to tell if it was running over hot, because it's already too dang hot. It's like two designs that I wish they would make with consoles is like have like a cooling system, like peripheral that you can attach on that's like more like a heatsink than a fan system, because a fan system's fine, but all it's doing is just blowing more dust into your console, where it's like I want like somewhere where I can slot in like, you know, a big aluminum heatsink or copper heatsink and just do actual cooling on the whole system that way. Like you could do a heatsink with a fan, and that would be better, you know? So it's like
CDP, own the battlefield.
that's one thing, but like hopefully like technology is getting to the point where it's like, you know, you don't have to run a console at 100 degrees in order to get it to, you know, work. It's like the same thing with your phone, you know, you turn on your phone, start playing games on it, and the thing like heats up. It's like, oh my god. It's like, can we build like a less slim phone that doesn't feel like it's gonna like burn my fingers off? How about that? That would be a good idea, right? That's the thing that I don't like. I tried for that headshot. I shot him from the back, and because I get him in like the back of his shoulder, it's like, nope, wasn't an actual headshot, Andrew. Screw you. Right? The other thing that I'd want them to add to the consoles is a basically like a dust trap or something. Like, or like have it so that like you can actually like I want a lid on my console that's like totally fine for me as the user to lift up and like blow out all the dust from the inside of the console that, you know, accumulates over the lifetime. Like, make it easier for you to clean it, you know what I mean? Make it so that it's like, you lift up the hatch, it says, like, you know, blow air here with a little indicator, and you put the little, you know, thing from the air canister into it, and then when you blow all the air through it, it like has like little pathways inside that are just designed to like facilitate that air in, you know what I mean, cleaning out the entire system. That was just pure luck. Pure luck. You can see why I want an extended magazine, because we almost ran out of bullets trying to kill him. Dang it. But you know what I mean? It's like, it would be nice just to have something where it's like you can like rest assured or rest easy that like, because like not that I've been having issues with my PlayStation 4, but just I want them to design better systems, like, and better features into their systems for the future. Like, not just think about it when they're building it as like, oh, you know, how small can we make it, and how many features can we compact into this, you know, size of a space or this design or whatever. It's like, build the whole system for the user in mind, you know what I mean? Add on like optional water cooling, you know what I mean, to your system. Or all that kind of fun stuff. Because you know that like if they are going to be doing some crazy VR thing, like, it's probably going to get pretty hot. That's all I'm thinking. You know? Also, read an interesting article this morning talking about somebody's experience from E3, but apparently it's confirming some of my suspicions about virtual reality, and among those are that traditional control video games are not necessarily going to work in virtual reality. And they may end up making you sick, and that was what this person found with the new Resident Evil 7 virtual reality experience. And not to, you know, pick out Resident Evil, they still have a long time before the game releases, so they could change stuff, and, you know, we may, like, the final product may not represent this, but it's just the experience that this person highlights, the stuff I was talking about, where it's like, they said that the things that made them feel sick was that they could look around independently of head movement. Right? So like, sort of imagine the experience of like you moving your head, but you're like, if I'm wearing the virtual reality goggles and my head is not moving in the real world and I'm just looking straight forward, sitting in a chair or something, or standing up looking at, you know, when I move my virtual head to look to the side, it's going to feel very weird to my real head, which is not moving, and I'm like, sort of like that feeling where it's like you're going to probably try to unconsciously turn your head to the side to try to correct for it, but that it's not going to work because the image is just going to continue to move at whatever pace it's moving, regardless of how fast or slow you move your head to try to compensate. And all of that instinctual, you know, compensation that's there because your brain thinks that the image it's seen from its eyes is coming in at a different angle or whatever, so to speak, you know. It's like all that internal compensation that's happening.
Overhead.
Stay inside for a second here with that Hellstorm. There we go. But like that's what makes you sick. Or the other thing that they complained about was crouching. You know, like it's gonna feel weird to your brain if you crouch in the virtual world and the virtual world shrinks, but you're still standing up or sitting in a chair in the real world, you know?
Hostile UAV spotted.
And if you have to do a lot of that in a video game, that could really make things
Hostile care package
difficult.
overhead.
You know what I mean? Team is not doing so well, so I'm just trying to hold back, let them regroup. Let's try to set up some positions here. Oh. Dang it. So the sad thing about virtual reality is I think it's going to be a long time before we see stuff that is actually as good as we'd like it to be. Like I think like even if you made virtual reality with like if I watched this in virtual reality, I think it would look great except for two things. Moving around my head like this to look, and that sort of like doubling up effect of lines and, you know, that kind of stuff is not going to feel too great in virtual reality. As well as what was the other one I was just thinking of? Oh, I'll think about it.
Terrible performance. Come on home.
Oh god, it slipped my mind.
Consider service.
I'll keep thinking about it.
Death is an old friend. Don't make me call in any favors.
You can't do it yourself? Herp derp. Oh well. Oh god. I'm trying to think of like what virtual reality thing would feel weird. I guess it's like some of the forced perspectives, but man, that's not the. I'm just gonna give up on it because I'm just, you know, just screwing it up at this point, Andrew. What are you doing? Let's put that on, and we'll see how this all works together. Oh, that's what it was. Yes. Okay. So, like, Call of Duty, I think, is a great example of a game that could look good in virtual reality. The reason I say that is because they get a lot of the perspective stuff right, as far as, like, the size of things, the distance of things, how things look at those distances. To where you do kind of feel like you're in this, and like I'm playing on a flat screen TV, but I still, when I'm looking at the environment, I still feel like it's 3D. You know what I mean? I still feel like I'm there holding my gun, running around doing this stuff because the perspective size is right. The distance I'm sitting away from the TV, everything, that, you know, it's the perfect distance, the perfect size so that it feels realistic,
Team
right?
deathmatch.
And that's great in
Stay out of I've work to do.
virtual reality.
Access denied.
But then, like, the one problem that you have is that when you start running, you see that screen wobble, the bounce, and all that stuff that's going on. Like, you could have the gun movement side to side, that's fine. But the up and down bobbing of the screen, if you were doing... That's fine while I'm, like, this far away from my TV. But if you were doing that in my eyeballs, that would give me motion sickness. If you know what I mean. Because it's like... Because in the real world, it's not my eyes that are bouncing up and down, and it's kind of like the image is bouncing up and down in front of my eyes to make it feel like I'm moving like this. But if I didn't have that space between what I'm looking at in the real world and this image, that would feel very weird, right? Because, like, the image would just be bouncing up and down in front of your face for no reason when your head is sitting still. You know what I mean? So they would have to, like, remove stuff like that from the game. Dang it.
Mechanical down.
In order for it to feel better while you were playing in virtual reality, right? Like, you would want your head to be more stationary, or the image to be more stationary while you ran around, so that you didn't just give yourself seasickness trying to focus on a moving image the whole time.
UAV inbound.
And the last thing is, like the really important thing about virtual reality is going to be, like, 3D, like, the believableness of the 3D, right? Like, take this, like, for example, right? When I look at it like this, yes, it looks like a 3D hay bale, right? It's kind of, it's not detailed enough, it's not specific enough, really, to be like from a distance, you can't really tell what that is. I could be like, it's a concrete roll on its side. It's a 2D cookie. It's a picture of a cookie just leaning against a barrel, right? You can't tell what that is, and because of how it's shaped and the fact that it's a flat texture, if you were looking at that specific texture here in 3D goggles, you wouldn't be able to tell if that was all the way in front of your eyes, like 2 inches in front of your face, or if it was, like, 300 feet away and you're, like, looking through some sort of weird tunnel or something. Because the problem is there's no reference, there's no point of reference for something where you can tell, like, hey, this flat object that's in the middle of all these things, I can tell where it is because of how it moves in relationship to this building or this car and that kind of stuff, right? But there's certain little things, like this barrel here, right? Where, yes, it's in size proportion, yes, it's like shaded and stuff like that, but the way that would pop out of the screen in virtual reality or in 3D, it could feel like it was like 2 inches in front of your face, and then that the wall is still, 10 feet in front of you. So it's kind of like the better your graphics are at simulating what a 3D environment should look like, the better it'll feel for the player. But the more that gets broken by little things here and there around your environment that you weren't necessarily intending for them to, but do anyways, it's like that's the kind of stuff that's going to mess with people, Everything looks fine as long as the scale still feels appropriate. But it's almost like it's a visual glitch. It's a visual artifacting glitch that'll happen because of the way the graphics work in video games. Because it's like that thing where I'm talking, like, let's go back here. Hopefully we don't... Somebody coming to kill us? Heard somebody. So this thing, this weird, kind of stands out in the environment as being something that you kind of can't tell what that is until you go over and look at it from the side, right? So it's like the same principles of it's an optical illusion. That's the best way I can describe it. It's an optical illusion created by virtual reality or 3D, even just being in this environment and it being simulated 3D, where depending on how you're looking at this, you know what I mean, you lose the depth, the spatial awareness aspect of it, right? The only reason you're able to tell where this thing is because I have my crosshairs up, right? So here, yeah, there we go. I could do an optical illusion right now where I could put an exact same size circle over that, except take it from out off to the side of my screen and put it over my gun and place it down on top, and you wouldn't be able to tell. Like, you can't tell me what distance that is away from me when I'm looking at it flat on, right? I could create an optical illusion based around how far away you think that is versus how far away it is in reality. You know what I mean? And because I can do that with that, it happens naturally with any sort of anything that's faced sort of directly onto you. You know what I mean? So it's going to happen to any little thing in the environment where your brain is going to be trying to figure out, hey, how far away is this, like, how far away are the leaves on that bush in relationship to each other in my brain? You are looking at it, you are literally looking at a 2D image that's trying to pretend that it's 3D, right? So it's trying to fake you out into believe, like, you know, already that stuff is in the places that it is, right? But, like, your brain, all of these plants, all of the plants here, if you looked at this in through 3D glasses, your brain would lose the ability to tell the difference between what was in front and what was behind, unless the 3D is just really good, or the detail on the plants is just really good. Maybe the leaves are big enough, or the design is plain enough that you can tell how it's supposed to be. But all this kind of stuff doesn't look good in 3D. So it's like, just... I know it's a really random thing to be talking about, and I should really concentrate on the game here and help out the team, but it's just, it's little things like that that I worry about, because it's like, the more visual eye strain that you create for yourself in a virtual reality environment, the more motion sickness you're going to experience while you're playing. So it's like, say, okay, there's another one, shadows. Like, that shadow is a shape, right? And the shape of the shadow changes depending on where I am in relationship to it. You know what I mean? I'll try to fight with the team. But yeah, so the shapes that you're seeing will change depending on what angle that you're looking at them from. And it's like, you know, like when you're looking at the... it used to be an old screensaver on Windows computers that was like a Mobius strip, which is like a mathematical thing where it's like it's a strip that has only one side. That it's an infinite surface. You know what I mean? It just goes like, it's one-sided and it just goes on forever. And the Mobius strip screensaver would just like continuously flip like a whole bunch of different like presets. So, you know, sometimes it would all be one strip, sometimes it would be 5 strips and whatnot, and it would create optical illusions. You know what I mean? Just by the nature of what it was and what it's doing on the screen. optical illusions where you can't tell necessarily, like, is this thing bending away from me or towards me, right? And sometimes it can be hard to tell something like that.
It speaks for itself.
And if you're looking at all this stuff in like a virtual reality headset that's trying to simulate 3D this close to your face, you know what I mean? It's like all these little details, all these little things where it's like it's totally fine on a regular screen TV, where you can see everything and how it relates to everything else. But on virtual reality and 3D, those things, if it's not done correctly and it's not, nobody pays attention to it, it's like you're going to be playing a game and you're going to feel like instead of all of the shadows laying down on the ground where they're supposed to be, all of the shadows are going to be like lifting off of the ground or bulging out towards you or bending and reaching out towards you with long fingers and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So it's like, my worry is a lot of the time where you're going to take a game that already exists and then be like, let's just put on the virtual reality goggles and jump right in. It's like, well, if they didn't design the game to look correct perspective-wise and have proper shadows for virtual reality and all these kinds of things, you're going to be looking at this game and like it may as well be like Alice in Wonderland or something like that. You know what I mean? So it's just, I have worries. I have concerns for the future. I come from the future with a terrible warning. Oh, yeah. So, I would like to have the rapid fire attachment. Do I have access to it yet? No. I would like extended mags. I'm really going to have to figure out what things I need to have on here. Let's put extended mags on, just so we can see how many bullets that does actually give us. So that may be useful.
Team deathmatch.
Woot.
Time to get kinetic in this AO.
Let's take them down.
Black Ops, weapons free.
Oh, that guy's moving fast, man. He's a slippery snake. Oh, man. See how my teammate over here on that side, like, completely ignored that that dude was out there and walked ahead here and got shot by. That's great. Okay, yeah.
Hostile HCXD in your AO.
There we go. So it's good to have that kind of near person. Yeah, see, silencer just, like, it helps in all situations.
That's a kill.
Advised, hostile HCXD spotted.
those two guys didn't have the engineer crew. Let's just wait for Buddy. Really? Like, how many bullets, guys? Really? How many bullets? Okay, plus another 2 hits there, and I still don't kill him. Okay. Like, 7 hit markers, you know? Perfect. My team seems pretty incompetent, so I'm just gonna hold out. Like this guy over here, that, you know, he's holding out that side, I'll hold out this side, why not? So just trying to get my reticle and theoretical headshot area. See, how'd they kill the guy on the other side? See, that's the stuff that's like, what? What are you doing? Perfect, you know. I love how quickly it goes from your team having that entire side of the map to the enemy spawning right next to you. You know what I mean? Perfect. Need to stop aiming at people. It's just, aim down sights just takes too long, man. Yep, shouldn't have done it. Yeah, dude, don't worry, just sit there, you know?
Friendly care package incoming. Friendly XD spotted.
Of course I die again. Well, the connection's interrupted, you know? God, team. I don't know why I keep going for that shot when I just keep dying. See if anybody comes to kill him.
It's slipping away from us. Pull it back.
Really, bro?
Hostile HCXD spotted.
Go. Yeah, it's just not long range for me. I guess maybe if you put like a foregrip and stuff on it, but it's not really how I play anyways. Trying to figure out which door they're coming in through.
Mission failed.
Really, bro?
New assignments incoming.
Shutdown in progress. Evac transponder activated.
With these upgrades, you never stood a chance.
Oh, God. Let's see how we're doing here. Not bad. Alright, we're getting rid of the, for the purposes of leveling, I've got one left. Keep engineer on. Gonna be going for hip fire headshots. Herp, derp, derp.
Team deathmatch.
Alright.
Anticipation. Scanning for hostiles.
There's nothing like the expectation of the kill.
Mission clock
I
is running.
hate these iron sights. I wish that they didn't have the rear ring and that it was just like, you know, a rear tower or rear fins or something. Because it is not easy to get headshots. Like, really? What is up with the lag? Oh my god, dude. Like, mega lag.
Threat neutralized.
Threat down.
Enforcer down.
Blackjack down. EKIA. Blackjack. Neutralized.
There we go.
Enforcer down.
Go.
Request UAV overhead.
Establish perimeter at 10,000 feet AGL.
That's that video.
UAV MTL 50% check.
I do like. Okay,
Hostiles have destroyed your UAV.
this map is actually not bad. I think as far as map design goes, for a 3-lane, like, this is about what you want. It has like enough
Friendly UAV
extra
inbound.
space on it, so to speak, that it doesn't feel cramped. You got this nice building in the middle here. Dang it. Calling our supply drop and see what we get. The supply drops also in Advanced Warfare were like way cooler. It's like a meteor coming out from like...
Dart ready for deployment.
It's like they dropped the thing from space, you know what I mean? Whereas in this game, it's kind of like, oh yeah, we just fly over, we'll drop you your package, and just hang on a few moments and it will be right there, no problem. Man, I suck. Whee! Anybody else? No.
1 EKIA.
But you know what I mean?
Wasted.
Sarah down.
UAV inbound.
Sarah killed.
There's another camo.
Watch asset degraded. Enemy down.
Dropped.
Okay guys, we're not going to be coming from that way because we're all over here now. Where are they going to be coming from? Yeah.
Mechanical down.
Reaper requesting UAV.
Calling our supply drop again.
Deploy care package.
Friendly HCXD inbound.
10,000 feet AGL. Supplies drop. Exiting AO. Midway. UAV fuel check complete. Drone overhead. Counter surveillance.
I guess I need some scythe kills as well here, so I should try for that as well.
UAV power levels 5%.
See how that goes.
Midway fuel check
Dude,
complete.
can you please just get out of the way. You're glitching all over the place, lagging it up. Like, what was that? What was that? Come on now. Damn.
Reaper destroyed.
The world is watching. Show them the win.
Counter UAV power levels low. RTB.
Like, what is that guy doing? Off in his own little frickin' world, you know? Like, maybe the enemies are around behind this car that I just passed. You never know, they might be. It's like, no, they're not. They're you know, we can say equivocally, there's none. No enemies that direction. You know? Who are you waiting for,
Black
dude?
Ops at work. It's a beautiful thing.
Goal reached. Victory achieved.
Oh, we won. Okay.
Threat neutralized.
I'm excited because we're getting close to having
You're dead already.
all the
You just don't
unlocks. So
realize
here we
it
go.
yet.
That's me. In the white. Woot. Alright, rapid fire on the Dante. Sweet Jesus. Okay, so let's just go all 6. Or 5, rather. I've got 1 left over. See, this is where it's like, perk? Maybe a perk. Go overclock because I need that the scythe kills. I should have been working on that too. Herp derp. But I'm interested to see how this gun works now with rapid fire on it.
Team deathmatch.
CSMO.
Initial waypoint locked in.
CDP,
go.
break their will to resist.
How are the teams? Not bad. At least it's not a 3-on-3. What the fuck are you people shooting at? Oh my god, like, come on now.
Enemy down. Threat neutralized.
Smoke, check.
Perfect. Yes, thanks team. Don't worry. I'll just slowly fight them one by one all by myself, and you guys just run around and do whatever, right?
Smoke, check.
Just like that guy, just fly on your belly, aiming at the direction where our team is coming from. If that's helpful, you know. Don't look around for enemies. Wouldn't want to risk anything, would you? Yeah. Morons.
Threat down.
Worst thing you can do: spawn, move 2 feet forward, and set up as that's the spot to start shooting from.
Fourth ruin kill.
Hostile care package overhead.
It's like if you're just gonna give the whole enemy the map or the whole map to the enemy to begin with, why even bother trying to fight them off of it in the first place? You know.
Infantry neutralized.
This guy's like glitching all over the place, man.
Be advised, hostile hardened sentry spotted.
take it. Like, what is... Same guy again. Same guy again. Like, yeah, please leave the game. Please leave the game. Why? I don't understand. Oh, there's only 2 of us. Yay!
Threat down.
Just gonna step away from all that fun stuff. Oh, perfect. Perfect. Where are you going, bro? Yes, towards the enemies. That is the place that you want to go.
Effect EKIA.
Really? Really?
Be advised. Hostile care package overhead. Rolling Thunder deployed.
Probably means they're going to be going inside to try and hide from it.
Fire break neutralized.
Really?
HCXD deployed.
Threat known.
Friendly care package incoming.
Right.
Shut out.
Flame unit degraded.
Come on. Alright, let's use our scythe because I need to get killed up in there. Really? You know what I mean? Really?
Hostile HCXD in your AO. Hostile UAV above.
Kill observed.
Bad guy.
Friendly counter UAV inbound.
Detected. Ice.
Yeah, guys, don't all come over here because then guess where they're going to come from? The complete opposite side of the map. Herpa derpa. Should be like 2 people per side.
Reaper down.
Oh my god, guys.
Friendly care package incoming. UAV inbound.
Perfect. Awesome team. You don't need 4 people to cover one door, you know what I mean? It's like I come anywhere I go and I post up, it's like the team immediately shows up, you know, to look out the same door. Like what? So somebody might be over here? There we go. At least it was a win. I'll take it.
All victory conditions met.
Good fight, guys.
Alright, guys. Sweet Jesus. Okay. Class, blah, blah. Okay. Alright guys, so that is going to be it for today. A big thank you to anybody who comes and watches this video, because nobody came and hang out with me today. I feel so alone. Oh no. Oh well, it's all good. I don't do this, you know, for fame and fortune. I do this because I enjoy it, and, you know, I enjoy it when you guys come to hang out with me, but it's not, you know, I'm not expecting it. I know it's Call of Duty. So anyways, if you did come and watch this and liked any of the crazy random stuff I was ranting or talking about, please leave a like or a comment talking about what you think about, you know, virtual reality, Call of Duty, any of the topics that we covered, and join us again next time for more epic adventures here on Dork Ninja Gaming. Woot!